Hi! You might be wondering, what is the Bookish Queer podcast? Well, I've worked as a bookseller for a few years now, and I end up reading a lot of book reviews. The idea for the podcast came to me while I was reading a book review. The book happened to have a transgender character as the main character, and I was searching for these reviews, and I found myself thinking, after going through a number of them, well, that's cool, but what do actual queer people think about this book? And I found myself wishing there was a filter I could use that would just show me the opinions of the queer community, or just some way that I could sort through the reviews. A while after that, I started making the Bookish Queer podcast, which is a podcast that reviews books of all kinds. The overarching goal for me making this podcast is to create a resource where queer people can go to find book reviews from the viewpoint of other queer people. I mean, obviously, anyone who's interested is welcome to watch it, but because of our place in society, I feel that queer people have a unique perspective, and I also feel that it's important to have platforms where often underrepresented voices can have space. So that is the background of the podcast and my general goal with it. So that being said, how can you participate? Right now, as of April 2017, the podcast is small and it's just me, but I'd like for the podcast to grow and eventually become a community resource, if possible. So here's how you can, if you choose, be a part of the podcast. There is a few steps. Step 1, be queer. There you go. I consider this an umbrella term, which includes gender and sexuality. If you're transgender, non-binary, genderqueer, gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, etc., it all falls under the umbrella. Anything else, you are welcome to submit an idea for the podcast. Step 2 is to have a book or multiple books that you'd like to review. I'd like to emphasize here that reviews aren't restricted to books that you like. You can also review books that you hate or books you only felt neutral about. So far I've only done positive reviews, but that's just because it's what I'm excited about. As long as you've read a book and have something to say about it, it's an eligible idea for the podcast. Step 3 is to send me an email at bookishqueer@gmail.com. I will have that in the description as well. And in the email, I'll need some information. First, tell me the book you want to review and give me a little summary of what you want to say about it. You don't have to type out everything at this point. Just give me the basics, like how you feel about the book or some bullet points of things that you want to mention. If you could also give me some basic information about you, that would help me sort through the emails. Stuff like your name, obviously. But it would also really help me out if you could give me some demographic information, like your age, gender, sexuality, race, location. That would help me sort through just what to prioritize. Just to be clear, you do not have to share that information in the podcast itself if you are uncomfortable with that. I just want to know this information so I can make sure I'm reaching as wide an audience as possible with the podcast. So, for example, I'm American, so if I have a lot of emails from other Americans, but then an email from someone in another country, I might want to prioritize getting that episode out before giving voice to more reviews that are from an American perspective. My goal will be to get everyone's voices in an episode, but since it's a big time commitment to me to put all the episodes together, I just want to be able to sort through things and just get an idea of the steps that I need to take and, what to do first, stuff like that. During this email step, I'll also let you know if your review will be a good fit for the podcast. Honestly, I can't imagine many, if any, situations where I would reject a review. It's not a requirement that I share your opinion about any given book. For example, if you want to give a negative review about a book I love, I'm not going to discount your review. I think having a variety of opinions will strengthen the podcast. I just want to put out there that there's some things I will draw the line at. And it is my channel, so I want to have content that fits the channel. Like I said though, there's really not many scenarios where I could imagine a review not fitting the channel. Like, I don't know, maybe if there was a book that was arguing that something terrible was totally fine and you were saying that's a great book, I might say no thank you to putting that review on my channel. And I do realize that what is terrible is subjective. But in this case, I'm talking really horrible things. Like, I mean, not to make a tired and obvious example, but like if you were agreeing with a book that said Hitler was wonderful and said white supremacy was a great thing, like, I wouldn't put that on my channel. But like I said, much short of that, I don't really see why I would need to reject a submission, but I just want to put it out there that there are some things where I will cross the line because it's my channel and I want to put stuff that fits. So step 4 is we'll exchange emails and work out how to get your voice on the channel. I want to say here that I want to accommodate the different recording abilities people have. So you aren't required to make a video. Also, if you don't have any recording equipment, if you want to send me a transcript, I could read it for you. This portion also relates to me having your name and other information because I will want to introduce you in the beginning of the podcast episode, so we'll talk about what you're comfortable with sharing for your introduction. Lastly, in the video description and/or, at the end of the episode, I'm happy to link listeners to your other works if you want that promotion. We can talk about it in the email if you have a personal website or a Tumblr or your own YouTube channel, whatever. I just want to say that I will do my best to promote your other works if you would like that, because I don't make any money off of this channel. I've literally made 0 cents, and I'm just doing this because I want there to be a community resource out there. So I can't offer monetary compensation, but I know, like, when I'm submitting stuff, that has a big impact, and I usually won't submit things if I don't have the possibility of having some monetary compensation because money's rough. But I will be happy to link to your other work or just to, boost your page if you want. So thanks for watching. I really hope I get some emails, and until then, I'll be here making videos with my reviews of books. But please send an email. It'll be in the description, and I hope to see you soon. Alright, thanks. Bye.